You and I are bread. It sounds like a strange thing, and yet that is what we are to become. There are many images attached to Jesus Christ, and all of them have a certain validity. He is the light of the world in a dark world, but we cannot totally understand that because we live in a world of instant light and electricity. He is the vine, and we are the branches. And we know by observing that you can't break off a branch and have it, still have life, but unless you understand the science of it, it only goes so far. He is the resurrection. How do we get our arms around that? How do we begin to understand what that means other than new life? He is the good shepherd. How many shepherds do you know? And then there is this: I am the bread of life. And who can't relate to bread? Some of us, like me, relate a little too much to bread. We go to a restaurant starving, and they bring out that loaf of steaming, crusty bread, and you can make a meal right there. Every religion has an identity. Ours is that you and I are a Eucharistic community. Today, Corpus Christi celebrates that, receiving the body and the blood of Christ. But to what purpose? What's the purpose of us receiving this Eucharist week after week, if not to become the very, very body of Christ? More to the point, you and I are called to feed people. That would include those literally hungry people who have nothing to eat. But in fact, all people hunger. All people are lacking. All people need something. Jesus says in this most often quoted miracle, 6 times it appears in the 4 Gospels. And when the apostles come to him and say, look at all these people, what are we going to do? Let them go and get food. He says to them, give them some food yourselves. The apostles say, well, this is all we have. 5 loaves and a couple of fish. In other words, that's all we are. Jesus doesn't debate. He doesn't discuss it. He doesn't argue. He just says, have them sit down. And they eat until they're satisfied. The bread is blessed and becomes so much more. And so when we are blessed, when we include ourselves in God's embrace, then what we receive here becomes so much more, and we become so much more. Because we have placed ourselves in God's hands. You hear the term good Catholic. I'm a good Catholic. I go to church. I go to Mass. And that certainly is a good place to start. But Jesus is asking for something even a little more. He's asking you and me to be bread in a world that hungers for goodness, kindness, compassion, forgiveness, and caring. Just like anger, negativity, violence, bad news can spread and become, just surround us, so too can the goodness. So too can the outreach. So too can the caring. You and I are called to be nothing less than bread. Bread for life. Bread for people. Here for one another. To be fed and to feed.